Hello students, today's lecture is the UMTS, that is the Universal Mobile Telecommunication System. So why UMTS is introduced, first we have to see. So that is the overview part why the UMTS is introduced. So this is the part of the GSM revolution. So first the GSM was introduced, then the spectrum it used, and that is called GSM 900 and the GSM 1800. As you seen in the lecture which is uploaded by me, that GSM uses two types of frequency. The first one is 900 and the second one is 1800, and according to its frequency the uplink and the downlink channel was divided for each frequency. So this is called the spectrum, means it uses 900 and 800 spectrum frequency in order to provide the services to the user. Now the second thing is GSM is inherits in the technology of 2G and supports 9.6 kbps speed. When the GSM is evaluated in the next technology, then the GPRS was introduced. The GPRS is introduced in order to provide the higher data rate to the users, as well as to increase the voice quality, telephonic voice quality. That's why the GPRS was introduced. Also the GPRS provides user the services such that they can access to the internet. So the GPRS, when the GPRS was introduced in the GSM, then it is called 2.5G, means it is the advanced version of the 2G, and this version is called the 2.5G. So while introducing in the GPRS into the GSM, the data rate supported are 64 to 115 kbps. And when the GPRS is also evaluated, then a technology edge was introduced. So edge is only introduced in order to increase the data rate, because the GPRS data rate is not much to the higher quality, that is only the 64 to 115 kbps, and the voice quality inside the GPRS is not up to the level. So that's why the edge technology was introduced, and it uses the same spectrum, that is called GSM 900, because it is comes under the part of GSM, and because it is an advanced version of the GPRS in order to increase the data rate, that's why it is called 2.75G, and it supports the data rate of 115 to 384 kbps. Now the drawback of a GPRS and the edge over the GSM is there is a lot of complexity is arrived when we have to switch our network from the circuit switching to the packet switching. So circuit switching is utilized when we have to make a call to a user, and the packet switching is utilized when we want to access the data services in order to take some facilities from the internet. So if I want to access the internet, we have to utilize the packet switching technology. If I want to access the call mechanism or the call facility, then we have to use the circuit switching network, that is called the PSTN. So this is the one of the drawback of the GPRS and the edge over the GSM, that the switching between these two things, that is circuit switching and the packet switching, is not much efficient, as well as because the data rate is so low here. So that's why when a user having its call and wants to access the data services simultaneously, then it will become it became very complex for in order to doing this task. So that's why in order to mitigate these drawbacks, the UMTS is introduced. So UMTS is launched with the new spectrum, that is called IMT 2000, that is International Mobile Telecommunication System. 2000 was introduced in the form of 3G, and it supports a data rate of 0.384 to 2 Mbps. So that's why the UMTS was introduced with a new spectrum technology, which gives a higher data rate, as well as an efficient packet switching technology, such that the user can move towards the packet switching, as well as the user can move towards the circuit switch. Both of the services can be efficiently provided by the UMTS to the user. That's why the UMTS was introduced as a part of GSM. It is used to increase the data rate as well as the voice quality, and the feedback provided by the customer over the UMTS was so good. So that is all about the UMTS introduction. So need of higher data rates pushes to a new mobile technology. So it makes a very large evaluation in the field of market when introducing a GSM 3G launched SIMs are there in the market. And International Telecommunication Union ITU requests a proposal for radio transmission technologies RTT. So in the radio transmission technologies there are certain air interfaces. So in the air interfaces, when a user wants to communicate with a certain another user, then it has to create a radio transmission which is transmitted from one user to the another user by the use of air interface. And the third point is the European proposal for IMT 2000 prepared by ETSI is called Universal Mobile Telecommunication System UMTS. So that technology was first proposed by the European country, and the European country's scientists initiated a proposal that is called the IMT, that is called International Mobile Telecommunication 2000, which is a new spectrum used by the UMTS technology, and it is compatible for RTT of Europe Universal Terrestrial Radio Access UTRA. So it is very compatible to the radio transmission technology, and there is a certain part inside the architecture is there that is called the UTRA. So we will discuss it UTRA very soon. So Universal Terrestrial Radio Access Network UTRA is the part of UMTS which provides you efficient switching between the packet switching to the circuit switching. Now the most important part about the UMTS is it uses WCDMA technology as a direct spread technology. So what is the WCDMA basically? This W indicates wideband and CDMA is a code division multiple access, means we have to communicate, we have to establish the communication between one user to the another user with the form of particular codes. Now the frequency channels are constant, the time divisions are constant, but we have to use a certain codes in order to protect our communication, in order to separate our communication and provide some protection from the interference and the errors. So we have to use wideband CDMA. So what is called wideband? Actually we have to use some spreading codes here. So these spreading codes have to be XORed. This spreading code has to be XORed with our ongoing signal, and it makes our signal into the wide spectrum like this way, direct wide spectrum. So initially our signal is in the form of narrow band, and after spreading of usage of the spreading codes and getting XORed with the communicated signals, it will spread it as a direct spectrum in this way. So that is called the WCDMA, that is wideband code division multiple access. So what are the parameters or what are the features provided by the WCDMA? The first one is it spreads data using spreading code. So it is a part of electronics and communication. So I am skipping here. So how can we spread our digital communication by using the spreading code? So just you have to listen or take a note that we have to spread our data by using the spreading code. Then for the modulation scheme, modulation is necessary because we are pronouncing a data in the terms of voice. So it is an analog form of data, and we have to convert it from the analog to the digital transmission. So in order to do that, certain modulation schemes are necessary. So one is QPSK modulation scheme. So that is all about the standards regarding the IMT 2000 bandwidth. So different countries uses different bandwidths in order to provide services to the users. So Europe, China and Japan, North America. And IMT 2000 family, actually IMT 2000 family is a standard. So there is a interface for inter-networking, means we have to perform the radio communication by using the air interface, in which the radio transmission have to be propagated. So after the air interface, you have to select the particular technology, like we want to perform the communication with the use of GSM or the ANSI or the IP network, which type of communication we have to perform. So after the selecting of our core network, this is called the core network, after the selecting of the core network, we have to switch over the particular standard, like which standard I have to follow in order to provide the services to the user. So the UTRAN, that is UMTS, Universal Mobile Telecommunication, uses IMTDS, that is called International Mobile Telecommunication Direct Spectrum, because we are using the spreading codes in order to spread our digital signals into the wideband. And this is called UTRA FDD, that is called Frequency Division Direct Spectrum, and WCDMA 3GPP, because GSM is introduced under the project of 3GPP, so that's why UMTS is served GSM in order to increase the higher data rates. So it is again in the form of 3GPP. Now the another standards inside the IMT is IMT-TC, that is called Time Code UTRA TDD. So this is again the part of 3GPP, but it is not evaluated because the throughput, or we can say the feedback of this standard, is not so good. And the another one is called IMT-MC, that is called the multi-carrier. So CDMA 2000 is because a particular project have certain research tremendous, so after some time we have to make a new research, and adoption of new technology event has occurred day by day. So these are the another evaluations that are performed over the IMT standard, like IMT SE and IMT FT, but the successful one is called IMT DS, that is called direct spread spectrum, which is utilized by the UMTS inside the GSM network. So what is the UMTS architecture? The UMTS architecture is made up of, you can see, 3 blocks. The first one is called the UMTS device, the second one is called UTRAN, that is called the heart of the system, and the third one is called USPS, that is called correspondent node, means the circuit switching network, and this is called PS, that is the packet switching network. So circuit switching is used to perform the communication with the use of mobile phone when I want to make a call to my friend. So in terms of the voice quality maintenance, we have to use the circuit switching, but in the case of packet switching is used when I want to access the internet in order to access certain facilities over the internet. So this is the overall architecture of the UMTS, in which UTRAN and this one I will elaborate soon. So that is the UMTS WCDMA architecture, that is similar to the previous one, in which these are your mobile equipments, mobile devices, that is called the BSS, that is base station subsystem for the circuit switching network in order to provide the voice communication, and this is called the radio network system. It is used to provide the data services to the user. So PSTN is engaged with the circuit switching network, and your another one called the packet switched core network is engaged with the UTRAN access network. Now the UMTS domain, it is nothing but the elaborated version of the previous architecture, in which the user equipment domain consists with USIM domain as well as mobile equipment domain, and after that there is an infrastructure domain. In the infrastructure there are 4 entities. The first one is access network domain, service network domain, transit network domain, and the home network domain. So these are the under the mobile devices, means the mobile user point of view, and these are under the infrastructure oriented domains, like access network domain, in which certain modules are used in order to serve the user request, like RNC. Serving network domain is just like the correspondent node, which is used to perform the switching between the two things, that is circuit switching and the packet switching. Transit network domain, how can we transmit our data in the internet by the use of this UMTS. So transmit network domain is follows these protocols, some protocols here in order to transmit the data, like the bandwidth consumption, bandwidth maintenance, as well as the quality of multimedia. So this type comes under the category of transmit network domain. And the last one is called home network domain. In the home network domain is just like is the part of circuit switching network, in which I have to register my identity, the user identity, as well as the tracking of the mobile devices as well as the user has to be done by the home network domain. The authentication center, VLC, and the HLR is the part that comes under the home network domain. Then the UMTS radio interface. The UMTS radio interface is very simple. The data generated from the user is getting XORed with the spreading code, again the data generated with the user is getting XORed with the spreading code. So all this data has to be XORed, and it will be use the technique of multicasting. So in the multicasting we have to collect the data from certain users, and we have to collect all the data, and we have to just use some spreading code over there, collect it. Here there is a scrambling code is XORed with the collected data, and this one will be the transmitted one in the medium. So this one technology is used by the radio interface utilized by the UMTS. So this is only the chipping. So chipping process is again the elaboration of the previous UMTS radio interface, that how the XOR transmitted signal is getting XORed operation is performed by using the spreading code. So this one is elaborated. Now the UTRAN. So the UTRAN is the part of your UMTS architecture, this one. So what is UTRAN basically? The UTRAN having three components. The first one is called UE, that is UTRAN equipment. This is the node B, and this is RNC, that is called the radio network controller, and this is called the correspondent node, that is CN. And this whole communication is called radio network system. So what are the entities residing? So this is again the UMTS system architecture elaboration in the terms of diagram. So this is called the mobile station, and this is the UMTS subscriber identity module USCM. So these two entities are comes under the UMTS equipment. This is our radio access network RAN, and this is called not the correspondent network, this is the core network CN. Now the UMTS frequency spectrum, how much frequency is used in order to provide the data rate. So downlink channel frequency uses 190.20 to 1980 megahertz. For the downlink it uses 2110 to 2170 megahertz, and these are the satellite services provided by the UMTS, because for the satellite services it uses different frequency bands. So here this node B is nothing but it is act like base transceiver station in the GSM architecture, but in the UMTS architecture this base transceiver station, that is BTS, is replaced by the node B, and the functionality performed by the node B and the BTS are the same. Now what is the RNC, radio network controller? The RNC is used to process a request that is generated by the node B, and from there it has the capability to switch the services. Like from the correspondent node there are two types of network, PSTN and the data services, that is packet switching network. So according to the request from the user, that is the UE equipment, the request is going towards the node B, that is BTS, and BTS is generating the power according to the antenna, and that is dependent on the which type of service is required by the UE, and after the type of service it makes a request to the NC to perform the appropriate switching, and this switching is done by the CN. And this is the whole phenomena, this is the whole procedure that the RNC works over there. So these are the certain things that the RNC work, that is called the call admission control, congestion control, encryption and decryption. Call admission control means it has to access a particular medium, like data link layer in the MAC layers, they are channel access mechanism. So this channel access mechanism are come under the category of call admission control. How can the call is established? By accessing the channel. So it uses WCDMA. For the congestion control it uses the data link layer protocols. For the encryption and decryption it uses a certain AES 256-bit cipher key. ATM switching multiplexing protocol conversion, the multiplexing is doing because we have to use the multicasting, and we have to collect the data from the multiple users, and we have to XOR of the collected data, and spreading code is fed it into the collected data, and we have to forward that collected data after performing the spreading code over it, and the communication has to be performed. Now the radio resource control, because it has to do certain power management as well as the frequency hopping also. So radio resource control is done by the radio network controller. Radio bearer setup and the release. This is due to if I want to install some another services like the gateway as well as hotspot creation. So radio bearer setup and the release are done by the RNC, like Node B, as well as code allocation. The spreading code is allocated by this RNC. The power control also, handover control and RNC reallocation. What is handover control? When a user equipment is making a movement from one area to another area, that the node B has to be switched as well as the RNC has to be switched. So one is called the intra-domain handoff and the inter-domain handoff. So when the UE equipment is performing the movement from node B to another node B, that is called the intra-domain handoff. If it is moving the changing the location from this area to the another area, that is comes under the range of another RNC, then it is called inter-domain handoff. So this handoff control is done by the RNC also. Then the management, obviously the management, because it's doing some necessary actions in order to switch the appropriate services according to the required facility demanded by the user. So this is a UMTS architecture. In the UMTS architecture, the first one is called the circuit switching technology, that is provided by the GSM in order to maintain the call. And the second one, this one is called the packet switching technology. When I want to access the mobile data, if I want to access the internet, packet switching technology will be used. So you can see this architecture is just like the GSM, so in which BTS plays a role. Base transceiver is station, and here is the mobile equipment, which is not here, but here is the mobile equipment. And BTS is communicate with the BSC, that is base station controller, and this base station controller is communicate with the MSC and the SGSN. And for the packet switching technology, this BTS is replaced by the node B, and this BSC is replaced by the radio network controller, and this radio network controller is communicate with the MSC as well as SGSN. So this communication is performed between the BSC and SGSN and RNC and MSC in the terms of handoff, and the handoff is made, and the user is continuously access the data services, means the packet switching technology. Then the RSC has to communicate with the particular MSC that the location is getting changed, please update the VLR. So that's why it is communicated to the VLR. And suppose if I am having on the call and simultaneously I want to access my data, means connection to the internet, then in this case the BSC will communicate to the SGSN. Then SGSN will update its HLR and the authentication center according to the location and provide the data services. So this is the overall architecture of the UMTS. So this one is a circuit switching technology, and this one is called the packet switching technology. So this is called PSTN, and this is called the packet switching. Then how the handover is made, and the UMTS handover, that is called the micro diversity. So the micro diversity, in which the user equipment is here in the common area, means the common area covered by this node B, this node B and this node B, and the common area, the location of the common area having in the location of the common area U is resided. So in this case a perfect handover should be made in order to continuity of the service. So like this, the UE is connected with this node B, and UE is moving towards the area of another node B, that is this one. Arrow is indicated that UE is moving towards another node B. So in this case there are two types of RNC. The first one is called the static RNC, and the second one is called the dynamic RNC. So static RNC is indicate that the user equipment is registered originally with the node B, and HLR is maintained. HLR facility, HLR identity is provided by this node B, that is called the static RNC. But when the UE is moving from node B to another node B, a dynamic RNC is created. This dynamic RNC is just a temporary point of view, and it is changes according to the time, because it may be possible that UE is traveling from one city to another city to another city, and its location is dynamic. So that's why there is a creation of dynamic RNC here. Now all handovers. So जैसे कि आपने देखा होगा कि जब मेरे पास 3G टेक्नोलॉजी थी, when I have used a 3G technology, then there are some events in which my mobile network is switched over the 3G and the 2G systems. So why it is done? That is because of the UMTS. So in the UMTS technology, when my data rate or the channel condition is not good, then it is automatically converted or started to perform services, to provide services by using the 2G MSC. So this is the UE1, which is initially communicated, initially registered with this node B1, and when it is moving towards the another node B1, like it is a Seminary Hills area and this is the Birdy area, that is called the local handover, and the same RNC is used to provide the communication, because it is not the intercity handover. So when it is used to perform, when the UE perform the intercity handover, like this is Nagpur and this is the Mumbai area, then the RNC will be this RNC will be updated, and this RNC is used to provide the information to the previous MSC, as well as used to provide the services by the new MSC 3G area. Now if it's changing the state, this one is the new state. So when it is changing the state, there are certain measures and certain things have to be updated, and it needs time to change it. So when it takes more time to change it, what the infrastructure do? The infrastructure provides the services. In spite of 3G, it provides the services to the 2G until all the formality is not completed. So once all the formalities are completed, it automatically switches to the 2G to 3G system. So it is all about the handovers. So what is a soft handover and what is the hard handover? Actually, when I am doing the handoff or handover, when I am changing the location from one city or one area to another area or antenna to antenna, then it is called the soft handover, in which only the local RNC is used to provide the handover facility as well as the data services or the circuit switching services. But when I am changing the states, then my RNC will be interrupted. RNC will get changed. In this case, hard handover is made. So this inter RNC will be can be used to understand as an inter MSC, because if the MSC switch, like if the state is changed, then both of the RNC and the MSC will get changed, and this type of handover is called hard handover. And the intersystem, what is called the intersystem? Actually, the intersystem is called when the infrastructure interrupt the 3G services because the channel conditions are not good, and providing you the 2G services instead of 3G. So that is called the intersystem. So that is all about the UMTS architecture. I think it is pretty much clear to all of the students. If it is not clear, then kindly mail me or call me to ask any doubts. Okay, thank you.